Just now I was up on the ridge up there where that tree is, and a troop of baboons came from the back, from the top there, and so I had to move my position. I don't want to get too close to the baboons. The leader is huge, I mean, wow. And as you can see, the clouds are coming in to cover the mountain. So the weather's coming in, so I'm going to have to make my way back. I might stick around just for a little bit, just to let the cloud cover come over. But we are expecting rain today, so I don't want to get too wet because I've only got a thin top on, and it's a few kilometers walk back with the clouds covering the mountain. God brought me to this place, a remote area in the mountains. You can see the rural areas, the rural settings down the bottom there. But it's spectacular. When you're at the top, you can see the mountains from all around. And it's not such a clear day today. But when you hit the ridge, you go up to the top of the ridge there, you can see the mountains all around you, and it's beautiful. So I come up here to pray, and I come up here to prophesy, and God speaks to me when I come up here, and so it's quite a walk. It's about 7 kilometers, 6-7 kilometer walk. It's much easier going down than coming up. But I love it out here. I really, really love it out here. And it's great to take time out. It's Christmas Day today. And so I took my rod. You can see Aleph Lamed on there. That's El, the name of God. And so I come walking up the mountain to spend time with God. But you can see how those clouds are coming in. They're rolling in. Today I prayed that heaven's dew, heaven's rain will rain down on Africa. South Africa is being groomed by God for the greatest outpouring of the Spirit that is yet to strike this earth. And God has not forgotten Africa. Africa is a jewel, is a precious jewel in His hand. What most people don't know about Africa is that the word Africa means tribe of dust. But Africa wasn't named Africa previously. It was named Al-Kabulan, which means Eden of God. They believed that the Eden of God was here in Africa. And then after the serpent deceived them in the garden, Africa became a tribe of dust. That's why Africa has been known as the continent of death. And it looks like a skull. But God refuses to call this continent the continent of death. It is not the continent of death. This is Eden. Africa is going to flourish like the Garden of Eden with precious jewels and precious stones. Watch Africa. Watch Africa. Because God has not forgotten what Africa did to His Son. You must remember that Africa welcomed Mary and Joseph with the Christ, the Savior who was born, God's only begotten Son, and sheltered and shielded Christ from certain death. Because remember, King Herod killed all the baby boys up to the age of 2 years old. And so Africa sheltered, literally saved the Savior. And then it was a black man, Simon from Cyrene. Cyrene is a tiny little island right at the top of Africa, who lifted the burden off God's back and carried the cross of Messiah. And God has not forgotten Africa, what Africa has done for him. And it's payback time. If you know anything about God, is God never ever, he never ever doesn't pay a debt. He always pays his due. He pays his debts. And so Africa is in line. There's an eagle. Looks like a yellow-billed kite. And look how effortlessly he just glides in the wind. Yeah. God has called you and I into divine rest. You see, an eagle rests. He relies on the wind. He relies on the spirit, the breath, wind, the ruach, which is breath, which is wind, which is spirit, to take him where he needs to go. So yeah, God is going to release a spirit of life over Africa. Many years ago, God said, I'm releasing resurrection life over Africa. God gave Reinhard Bonker a word that Africa shall be saved from Cape Town to Cairo. We now prophesy that Africa shall be raised from Cape Town to Cairo. That God is going to release the spirit of life. He's going to release resurrection life in Africa. That the blind will see, the deaf will hear, the lame will walk, the dumb will speak, and the dead shall be raised. So God is going to do a very, very special work in Africa. This year I had a vision of a golden lion in Nigeria, and the golden lion began to move from Nigeria to South Africa. But the lion, when it reached South Africa, was no longer a golden lion, it was pure white. And when I asked God the meaning, God said the miracles that were poured out in Nigeria in the mid-90s and the late 90s, God said are going to come to Africa. And God said the white lion represents purity. God says, I'm going to do a pure work. It's going to be pure. That the men of God are going to be pure with this move of God. And when I went to inspect the lion, I saw blood underneath his what can we say? His fur, his body. And when I lifted it up to have a look, it was as if this lion had been wounded. And when I lifted it up to have a look to see the wound, I saw a lamb beneath the lion. And I saw people begin to take the blood from this lion, and they began to paint with their hands. They began to paint South Africa with the blood of the lamb that they had taken out of this lion. And when they had finished painting South Africa with the blood of the lamb, they began to paint the whole of Africa with the blood of the lamb. And I saw this lion then move into Central Africa, and all the blood that was red became pure white. And then I saw this white lion move to the center of Africa and began to roar. The lion of the tribe of Judah began to roar in Africa. So the only salvation that can come to Africa and South Africa is the blood of the Lamb. The finished work of the cross. There's the eagle again. Spectacular. God is going to release golden eagles in the earth. They're His golden eagles. He's kept a remnant that He's hidden away, that He's literally crushed and broken so that they can be contrite. They're His golden eagles because they soar into realms of the Spirit, the higher realms of the Spirit. And they're going to establish on the earth that which is established in heaven. They're going to bring heaven down. We are going to see the changing of the guard. Many, many, many are going to leave ministry and bow out of ministry. Don't be shocked when you see many men of God fall. Don't be shocked, because God is removing them. He's taking them out of the way, because they don't carry what the golden eagles carry. And they are going to oppose the coming move of God. So I'm just warning you. So God is taking them out of the way. He's doing them a justice by taking them out of the way. Because we are about to see the earth shaken like it has never been shaken before. We are about to see the church shaken like it has never ever been shaken before. It's running on old programs that are obsolete. So you have to let go of the old before you can come into the new. And God gave me a word. He said, if you don't upgrade to the new, you will perish with the old. So we're going to see many perishing with the old. So don't be upset when you see many of the men of God falling. It's going to happen. I'm going to go down now. I've still got about 4 kilometers to walk. So yeah. Blessings to you and shalom.